both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we're about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Tuesday. Y'all know what that means. It's another segment of our Hidden Gems segment. Tonight, we have a phenomenal gem. Some of our other gems, I don't know, things is happening around in the community. Okay, things is coming up. But we got a phenomenal brother that's going to be with us tonight. So we excited. As y'all see, it's just me. Okay, this be tonight. Where's my co-host, Tony? They are out today. Our team is out doing a community fundraiser. So shout out to our Both Sides of the Conversation team, our board president. A number of our Both Sides of the Conversation team is out at the Chase Center doing their thing, raising money for the organization and raising money for a really, really good cause. So shout out to them as they are out there and people are just moving around doing the things that they do. This past Sunday, we had a phenomenal violence prevention show. If you missed it, go back to our YouTube channel and check it out. It was dope. But the sad part is over the weekend, the last 24 hours, there has been a number of murders in the Bay Area across Oakland, San Francisco. Again, we got a lot of work to do. This is not over. One conversation. We're going to continue to do our part. But we got a spirit, energy that's in our community that is just really impacting our community. There's a lot of things going on, and we're going to continue to be a part of the conversation and a part of that work that's going on to help restore our communities. Also, there's a number of funerals from some of those gun violence incidents that have taken place across the Bay Area. There's a number of funerals happening this week. So again, condolences, prayers to those families that they get through this week and next week. There's a lot of services. So those families continue to need to be uplifted and supported. As you all know, we've been getting rain and different things happening here in the Bay Area, lightning storms and things happening over the last couple of days. This weather been acting up. But again, be safe out there, stay warm. And again, this is our Hidden Gem show. We'll be getting started with the guests tonight shortly after we get through some of the community announcement. But again, thank you to all of the amazing organizations and folks that's been doing works and events over this past weekend. There's a number of events coming up in the next week or so. So we just want to make sure that community is staying connected, getting involved. Reach out to us if you need anything, any support or things of that nature. Also, to all my Niner fans out there, they just like, we still hanging in there. We're going to be there. We're going to keep doing what we got to do. But with that being said, we're going to jump into these world announcements, some of the stuff that's going on, and then get into tonight's Hidden Gem. The Family Dollar store recalls multiple over-the-counter products due to them being stored at improper temperatures. The Family Dollar is in the middle of a firestorm as dozens of its products sold throughout the country in the United States. The USA reported multiple over-the-counter products, including condoms, pregnancy tests, mouthwash, toothpaste, and a number of other items have been recalled as those things were being shipped across the country in unsafe temperatures. So that's a big deal, and sad to see that these type of things are still happening. People don't understand the importance of keeping things at safe temperatures when they're transporting. But again, it's a big deal. A lot of people shot at the Family Dollar store in our communities. So again, this is terrible to be hearing this, but please, if you have bought anything over the last 30 days from any of the Family Dollar store, check your products, check the website, and make sure that those products that you purchase are one of those products that were affected. Also, public health announcement, okay? That's one thing about both sides of the conversation. We always want to make sure that the information is getting in the community. There has been a skyrocket in STD infections, okay, for our young folks, middle-aged folks out there happily involved out there. Be careful. There's been a rapid rise of sexually transmitted diseases in the U.S. that has left health officials concerned enough to call for new prevention measures. According to the American Associated Press, they're saying syphilis infections alone has reached the highest level since they have seen since 1991, following an increase of 26% last year, while HIV cases are closely trailing behind with 16%. AIM growing concerns about the spread of monkeypox, which is mostly transmitted by men who have sex with other men. Dr. Leandro Martina, director of the U.S. Center of Disease Control Division, said STD prevention stress is the time that the country began working on better treatment efforts to control the alarming rates. And Americans with affected STDs, please go out there and get checked. Fellas, women, be careful when you're out there sleeping around, creeping around. You don't want to get caught with the bug. So, be careful out there. Again, this is serious in our community. We're going to do our part to make sure that we continue to work with our Department of Public Health and different folks. And we're going to continue to have those conversations about safe sex. We got our youth show. We'll make sure that they get a conversation in as well. This is serious community. Number of vaccinations and different things are out there. Go get checked. Go get seen. And most importantly, strap up and have safe sex, y'all. All right. Hurricane Filona has hit the Turcos and Caicos Islands, is life-threatening hurricane category, Puerto Rico. So all of our folks out there, be safe. You got loved ones. The hurricane is ripping through the islands and causing impact to the folks out there. So if you got loved ones out there, check on them and make sure they are okay. Also in this country, as you all know, there's been a number of issues with our immigrants, this migration move that's going on in Florida and Texas. We got a lot of humanity issues going on. So again, we got a lot of work in this country. When we complain about the things that we have, there are a number of folks out there dealing with all type of things that are impacting them and their families. So please keep those people uplifted in your prayers and things of that nature, because our country and the folks are going through some things. With that being said, we'll jump into our community events. The Bayview Swim and Splash 8-week sessions is happening now, September 12th. It started September 12th, going through November 4th at the San Francisco Park and Rec's Martin Luther King Pool at 5701 3rd Street. These 8 sessions is very important for our community. If you haven't got out there to sign up, get our young folks in there a part of this, because again, we want to change that narrative. You know, they always say black and brown folks don't know how to swim and they don't know how to do this, and we want to change that narrative. Get our young folks out there so they know how to swim and make it better for our community and change that narrative. Also, the robot strutting and rapping workshop is taking place tomorrow, Wednesday, September the 21st, and they're going to have a session on the 28th from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Bayview Opera House, 4703 3rd Street. If that's you out there and you like to strut it up and do the robot and you got a little pop and lock in you, you want to learn how to do it and be a part of that community, they're going to be teaching folks tomorrow as well as on the 28th. So go take advantage of it and go learn a little bit about that pop and lock life. With that being said, we got the Quality of Life Festival and Advocacy Day that's taking place September 22nd and the 24th. That's going on in Washington, D.C. Standing for Equity. This is a powerful group. Check them out. If you want to be a part of it, hit the link and the information that's on the screen up there above. Very, very important stuff to get out to community, and we want to make sure that everybody knows about these events. Also, the 9th annual KMJ Sickle Cell Warrior Walk is happening Saturday the 24th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Bayview Opera House, 705 3rd Street. For more information, check out the website on the screen above. This is a very, very important cause, y'all, okay? Sickle cell is going through our Black community and brown community at high levels, And, there's a lot of research and things going on, but our people are being impacted. So definitely if you could get out there and do the walk and support those folks, please do, because it's a very, very serious disease that kills a lot of people in our community. Also, the OMI roller skate party is happening Saturday, September the 24th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All right, get out there. The information is on the screen. Contact my brother Maurice Rivers. And again, Maurice, I apologize. I can't be there this weekend because I got a number of things going on that I need to take care of personally. And definitely our team will be out there to support the event, but I won't be out there. I know Maurice is going to be yelling at me because I missed the last one, and I told him I would be here for this one, and it just didn't work out. The Taste of Excelsior Family and Fun Day is going on as well. If you out there, go check this out. Great food. They're going to have music and art. It's a great day, free to the public. If you one of those dudes out there looking for a good date, take your girl out on this date, man. It's free. Go try some food and hang out in the community and do something. The Taste of Excelsior, amazing events. Contact my brother Maurice Rivers for that event as well. If you need any support or how to get connected with it, it'll be up there on there as well. Also, the International Shift-Free Performance Interactive Step Performance and Art Installation is happening as well on September the 24th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The event bright information is up on the screen. Check it out. Great event to go check out this weekend. Also, the Harlem of the West, okay? The Jazz Era, the 1940s and 50s photography exhibit is happening this Saturday at 3 p.m., 6 to 6 p.m., and it's going to be some special jazz guests. Go out there and check out some of the old historic footage and photos of folks from back in the days. Check out the Harlem of the West. See some of the things that was going on in the Fillmore. Great, great exhibit. Go check it out. Again, another free event to community. Go out there. You got a young lady you want to take out? Take her to go check out some of the 1940s and see how folks was living in San Francisco in the Harlem of the West. Also, we have the PCAN presenting the Blue Ribbon Car Show is happening this Saturday, the 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 727 Nelson Rising Lane in San Francisco. The Eventbrite link information is up on the screen. Get out there and check it out. Another free event. You got a lady, she like cars, take her out there and show her some of the old schools and let her listen to the nice rumble of the engines and things of that nature. Great event, fun for young kids and families. They'll be out there enjoying community. And again, hopefully the weather hold up. But yeah, go out there, check out some of those nice old schools and walk around and convene with our community. Also, the health subcommittee meeting is taking place Saturday, September the 25th. I don't know, Sunday to September 25th. I'm on Saturday. Sunday, September the 25th from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is an online event as well as in person at Third Baptist Church. Please reach out and check out what's going on. Be a part of that. It's a lot of health talk that's going to be going on. And again, this COVID is still spreading around our community. Don't get confused, y'all. I know a lot of people got their masks off walking around. There's a lot of people I know that are still being impacted by COVID. So make sure you do your part. Be safe, wear your mask, social distance, and just be careful because it is spreading around our community. Also, the District 10 Safety Plan Violence Prevention Peace Rally is happening Saturday, October the 1st, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be at District 6, 428 11th Street, down there near the Costco. This is going to be a great event. There's going to be a lot of artists, a lot of our elected officials, a lot of community organizations are going to be there as we continue to work together in solidarity on stopping the violence in our community. You'll see our District 10 supervisor there. You'll see some of the other folks in the community. Everybody's on this mission to stopping the violence. There's going to be a town hall meeting. We'll talk with some of the youth, and we're just going to keep trying to find solutions and things that we could do to help support community and stop some of this violence that's taking place in our community. Also, the Pregnancy Pop-Up Village is happening Saturday, October the 8th, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. That's going to be happening at 1201 Mendale Street at the Bayview Opera House right there at the corner. And fellas, please go. I know this is a pregnancy pop-up event, but they're going to have stuff for fellas. They're going to have mental health folks out there. They're going to be doing haircuts. They're going to be giving away food. It's a family event. But definitely the event was structured for women who are going through labor or, expecting. But again, they're going to provide a family event for a number of the fathers and folks in the community to come be a part of this. So take your lady out. If she's walking around and she's about to be due, take her out there, get some of the resources, talk to some of the folks and see what's going on. Very, very important stuff. Also, the San Francisco High Middle School Night Fair is taking place. Learn about the application and financial aid process. This is open to all 5th and 8th graders, October 14th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 at the Boys and Girls Club, Don Fisher Clubhouse at 380 Fulton Street in San Francisco. If you got any questions, please look at the email. Reach out to my guy, Nate Ford, the Rebels. That's what he's doing. Great stuff to keep our young folks impacted and helping our families and getting our young folks ready to move on into their higher education. Also, they're going to have the high school prep class that's going to be open to all 7th and 8th graders to prepare them for their test to get into these high schools and SATs and all that. They're going to be teaching them a lot of stuff. Reach out to my guy, Nate Ford. Get your kids in there. It is very, very important that we get our young folks educationally ready, give them the tips and tools that they need so that they can be achieving and doing the things that they need to do when it comes to these academics. Also, the Peace Park events is always presenting their Friday night fun. If you got young folks that you want to get out in community, network, and be around some positive folks and some other young folks, they're going to be having it at the Hamilton Rec Center every Friday night from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., 1600 Gary Boulevard in San Francisco. It is a great thing to do. Please, we got to keep our young folks doing something so they're not out here getting into the trouble and causing some of the things that are taking place in our community. Also, the Saturday Fun Day is happening. Field trips, sport events, and much more. Every second and fourth Saturday is happening with the SF Rebels. My guy, Nate Ford, is doing everything, as y'all see, trying to keep our young folks going. That's what it's all about, keeping the young folks busy and active. Check it out. Get your young folks involved. Second and fourth Saturday, get them involved, get them out there so they can do something and be productive in our community. Also, the 33rd Annual Pee Wee Basketball League is going on. The registration is open right now. They are still looking for coaches, black men, our black kings out there, okay? It's time to get involved. They need coaches to come teach our young folks how to play basketball. It's a great opportunity to coach, lead, and also mentor. If you want to be a part of it, reach out to my guy, Nate Ford. The information is on the screen there. Please reach out. Tell them, hey, I want to coach. I want to learn. I want to work with some young folks. That's how you get involved. Reach out to the Rebels and be a part of that as well. Also, the Smart Money, San Francisco Smart Money Coaching is happening. Free confidential financial guidance for anyone living, working, receiving services in San Francisco. If you want to schedule an appointment, call that number on the screen, 877-256-0073. Again, we are trying to get our community to get financial responsible. Okay, the biggest hurt in our community is we don't have the resources and the financial backing to make the impact and do the things that we need to do. If this is you tired of like messing up, go in there and learn how to get your credit right, how to save, how to invest, get your emergency fund, do the things that you need so you can leave generational wealth for our young folks. Very, very important stuff. Also, our Both Sides of the Conversation fundraiser is going on all the way through the end of the year. Y'all know we ain't got no money, okay? We just doing what we do. We just make broke look good. But if you want to help us, go on to our Both Sides of the Conversation fundraiser. We have a GoFundMe you can support. You could donate on our website. You can help out a number of ways because we definitely appreciate the help. And, we're going to keep pushing. We'll keep programming. We're going to keep doing what we're going to do. But again, I know folks be like, I don't have time to volunteer. I don't have time to help. You can always help and drop something in the bag to help us continue to do the things that we do to impact our youth, the community, our elders, and more important, keep this platform free and open to our community so that we can do the things that we need to do. So for all the folks that's been donating, supporting, we love y'all. Thank y'all for believing in the work we do and continue to support us because we need that to keep going. So thank y'all very much. We're still looking for volunteers. Again, if that's you, maybe you don't got the money. John, I don't got the money. I can't make a donation. Money's tight. Inflation high. The gas is up. But I can come give up some of my talents. I got skills. I know a little bit about this media. I can come help you out. Or if it's admin, whatever it is, you have a skill set, reach out to us. We always looking for some folks in the community to help support. And we always looking for our folks because we want to make sure our folks get the opportunity to impact our community. Again, you can support us on Amazon Smile. All you have to do is go on Amazon and click Amazon Smile. Choose on Both Sides of the Conversation as one of your charitable organizations. No extra cost to you, y'all. But I know y'all ladies like shopping on Amazon. Every time I drive down the neighborhood, Amazon trucks everywhere. Why not support Both Sides of the Conversation? All you got to do is add us. No extra cost to you. But every time you shop, Amazon is going to give us 0.5% of what you paid to give us to help us grow. So again, all the ladies out there, I see the Amazon truck pulling up. I see y'all hiding the packages from y'all husbands and y'all boyfriends, okay? Make sure y'all add Both Sides of the Conversation as one of your charitable organizations so you can help us in the process. And then I won't tell them. I won't be like, hey, bruh, You know, you was gone today. That big old package, she took it in the house before you got there. I won't say nothing, but if you don't help, I'm going to be telling on y'all. I'm snitching. I'm telling on y'all. All right. With that being said, follow us on all our social media handles. Make sure y'all check us out. All of our social media handles. We on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We all over the place, okay? Just type up, search Both Sides of the Conversation. We're going to pull up. So we appreciate y'all following us and continue to do the things that y'all do. And we just excited. Our next live show, for y'all that don't know, this Thursday, we're going to have another educational Thursday for all the new folks watching. People may don't know this your first time checking out Both Sides of the Conversation. Every Thursday at 6 p.m., we have a segment called Educational Thursday. What does that mean? People come on our platform with a PowerPoint presentation and educate our community, okay? That's what they do. You get some free gems, some free sauce. Y'all know sometimes we don't get this information on our community. So check us out this week. There's a financial education presentation by our own Cynthia. Y'all know she be doing some amazing things for the community. So come and check her out. Also, this Sunday, our youth conversation. Y'all know we all about our youth over here. They're going to be having a conversation on building healthy relationship, red flags, and chivalry. They're going to be talking about that this Sunday at 4 p.m. Come check out our youth, y'all. Support the youth. Everybody keep talking about, we want to hear what the youth got to say. We want to hear their perspective. Let's see what our youth talking about. Hey, they trying to build healthy relationships, y'all. Come check out what they doing. Some of us adults, we need to listen to their conversations, see what they talking about, because our relationships ain't that heavy. All right, y'all. With that being said, enough of me. Y'all heard enough of me. I see people talking about, hurry up, John. Get through the announcement. We want to see who this hidden gem is tonight. What are you going to be talking about? Oh, so with that being said, I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to bring up tonight's hidden gem. This powerful brother is doing some amazing, amazing stuff. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to let him talk about it because, again, 30 years impact, folks doing stuff that, you know, y'all be talking about where the good brothers at. I hear y'all sisters. Where the good brothers at? Where the good brothers at be doing stuff for the people? Here go a good brother right here, y'all. Bobby, welcome to Both Sides of the Conversation, King. Come on and talk to the people, man. Tell them who you are, what you're doing, and all that good stuff you be doing, good brother.
What's going on, John? Man, I appreciate you having me here. When you said you started out the conversation, or before we got on the conversation, you was talking about you had a lot of events to announce. Man, I had no idea what you was talking about until you just went through that, and you went through it so smooth. I love it. And the thing is, for me, if you have nothing else, no other reason to come, but you want to know what's going on in the community and be able to get to some events and do some things and some free events, man, this is the spot to go. Now this is my new spot. Each week I'm gonna come check out, so I know what's going on in the community, how I can get involved, and especially those free things, because money's tight, especially in this nonprofit world, right? So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Bobby Jones Hamlin, and I'm the founder of Pure One, an online community-driven platform which is designed to help reduce social inequities, right? Drive systems change and improve the lives of people impacted by the criminal legal system. Now, all of my team members, including myself, are justice involved. And I've been to prison not once, not twice, but 3 times. So when I hear people talk about the recidivism rate, I've not only lived it, but I also clearly understand many of the reasons that I and countless people return to jail or prison. Now, all of our team members experience various barriers and challenges in reentry. And so we decided we would come together, right, to create a platform which could help fill those gaps that we had both seen and experienced. And so we developed a web-based platform that we call our Changing the Game platform, a platform which leverages people's lived experience, technology, and collaborations with industry leaders in order to help improve the lives and reentry success of people who are justice involved. Our Changing the Game platform consists of 4 main areas. First, it's our reentry network, right, which is includes a reentry service locator, which is similar to Yelp, a toll-free reentry peer helpline, which is operated by peer navigators, and you'll see it flash across the screen. Our phone number for that free toll-free reentry peer helpline is 1-833-4-GAME-CHANGERS. Super easy, super simple. If you're looking for help to get connected to reentry service providers, go ahead and give us a call. We also, the third thing that we have, one of the main components of our Changing the Game platform is our Referral Hub. And this is for government agencies as well as community-based organizations to be able to send secure referrals to those who are needing services. And so they can connect their clients and the people and their participants to people and to other organizations to provide those services that they need. And finally, we have a peer support network, what we call are reentry game changers, right? Those are people who are formerly incarcerated, justice impacted, who've changed their lives around, who understand the barriers and the challenges that people go through each and every day, and are here to help support you, connect you, and get you down the right path so that you can rebuild your life after a period of incarceration. Now, in order to stay on point, I can go on and on. I always go on tangents, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to share with everybody my screen, just so I can stay on point with a quick PowerPoint. Let me see if I can get this on. And John, if you can let me know when it comes up.
Definitely, I will do that, good brother. Go ahead and pull it up. In the meantime, while you pulling up, community 18334 Game Changers, or you can hit them at www.peer1.org. Please check it out. A lot of folk dealing with reentry issues. You might have a loved one, a cousin, a nephew just coming home. Connect them with this brother. He got resources. All right, brother. It's up there on the screen, man. Go ahead and run through your program.
Excellent. Appreciate it. So as I mentioned, right, we got what we call our Changing the Game platform. We're a national reentry helpline and a support network here to help people who are justice involved be able to get back on their feet, get connected to the resources and services that they need so that they can make a positive change in their life. Now, what got us started, right? And where are we really focused on? And I love what John had mentioned. Everything is about community, right? If we can get out of that mindset of me against the world, that negative mindset that I had for so many years, right? And start building our communities, ending things like the gun violence and the unnecessary stuff that's going on, right? We can build our communities and rebuild our communities stronger, healthier, so that we can have a better impact, not only for ourselves, but also for our children and for future generations. We also focus on changing narratives. So we do things like public education campaigns, right? We just had a what we call a reentry simulation last week. Super dope, on point. We actually flipped the script. So we had different probation officers, parole officers, judges, lawyers, right? We had all kinds of people. We had human resource personnel, all kinds of people, academics, right? We wanted them to be able to see what it looks like and feels like in a month of the shoes of somebody who's just recently released from prison or jail, right? And the impact was awesome. The responses and people, the things that they realized and were able to learn from that, right? It really went to help not only change the narratives, but also help change perceptions and gain understanding and empathy for the things, the barriers and the challenges that we all go through, right? When we're coming out of custody. And we want to transform people's lives. And so that's where we really focus on how do we get people connected to the services that they need? How do we get people to be able to get connected to the educational opportunities or the certification so that they can upskill, so they can not only have to barely survive from paycheck to paycheck, right? But to also be able to actually economically thrive, right? Not just a sustainable living wage, but a thrivable living wage. And so those are our three areas, right? Building communities, changing narratives, transforming lives is really our pillars of what we focus on, right? But when we look at things like some of these facts, right? Some of this data, we know that 650,000 people re-enter our society each year from prison and jail, right? Almost 1 million people every single year come out of custody. Yet, when we look at this, 82% commit new crimes within 10 years, right? Why? That's what we need to start asking ourselves. What is going on? Especially when we look at, if we spend over $80 billion a year on public correction agencies, yet we still have recidivism rates over a 10-year period that are as high as 82%, something isn't right, right? And that's what we decided to build Peer 1 for, was so that we could address that issue. So if you're not familiar with the current process, right? When somebody's in custody, like myself or any of my team members, we had to learn how do you navigate this complex and often siloed system, right? And when I'm saying like a siloed system, it's organizations that may have good intent and agencies that may want to do the right thing, but they all work independently, right? And they're not able to communicate effectively and collaborate effectively so that they can help the people who they're designed to help, right? And so myself, like this people here, right? In this example, when I was in custody, I went up to the correctional officer and I was like, hey, I need to get connected to this. I'm coming out of custody. I'm going to be homeless. I have $78 to my name, right? I have no family support. I'm going to go to an area I've never been at. I'm going to the Bay Area in San Francisco, and Alameda County area. I don't know anybody out there. What am I going to do? And just like this example, right? Officers and counselors, they were like, well, you know what? I don't really know. I think we're just going to connect you with your federal, I was in the feds, also in the state as well, but we're going to connect you with your probation officer or your parole officer, right? And they'll be able to help you. And so that intent or that thought was that probation officer or that parole officer had some connections with workforce development organizations, had some connections with housing providers, or maybe some human service, agencies, but that was supposed to be our connecting point, was through that probation officer, right? What I found, and what many of my colleagues have found, was even once we got handed off from, the correctional setting to the probation department, depending on where you go, they may or they may not have those relationships and those connections because they're working in those silos, right? And so really, ultimately, what happened is it fell on my shoulders, right? It falls on those 650,000 people a year shoulders to figure out, okay, first I got to connect with my probation officer or my parole officer. Then I got to try to figure out I didn't even know, I never even heard of, what is a human services agency, right? Or these social services. What is a workforce development organization, right? And I had to try to figure out this process and navigate this complex system on my own, right? So what we wanted to do was we said, you know what, that's not working, right? What can we do to start connecting people? And so that's why we developed our Changing the Game platform and to become the pure, a reentry hub, the Pure One's reentry hub, as a single point of contact to be able to get people connected. Right. So when somebody comes out of custody, right, yes, we still have that where they can either get us connected directly to, the probation officer or the parole officer, but they can also get connected even while they're still in custody directly to us, to our reentry network and our peer helpline. Right. And so that way, instead of having that siloed system, we act as a centralized hub for reentry, right, where you can connect with us. And once you connect with us, we'll get you connected to those different agencies and those organizations based on your individual needs, right? Based on the things that you have, because we're all different. We all, some people, myself, right? When I came out, I had no family support. I was homeless, right? Other people might have a spot to go to, a home, but they haven't worked for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? So they need connections to workforce providers, right? Or maybe they need connections to housing providers like I did, right? So when you're coming out, this is what we want to do, was be able to give you a single point of access, right? A one-stop shop where you can connect with us. We'll do a brief intake, figure out what it is that you're needing, and then we'll connect you to those services. Right. And so now, instead of these different organizations working in silos, we use another platform on the back end called Unite Us to be able to connect us and connect you with these different service providers to really be able to provide that opportunity for collaboration, effective collaboration between the different agencies, the different organizations, so that not only are we helping you get connected, but then all the different organizations are working together for your interests and your benefit, right? And even like I said, even while you're in custody, you can start this. We want to reach in while you're still in custody and connect you so that you can start preparing and not languishing in prison or jail, for multiple years doing nothing, right? We want to be able to get you connected while you're still in custody, so that you can be prepared for when you're released. So what's some of the things that we see, and we've heard of different technologies and things, and what makes us different, right? There's current technological systems out there, but what we found, even with ours, right, we made our resource locator super easy. It's just like a Yelp. And I'll demonstrate in a little bit. You just go ahead and you put in, I'm looking for employment services. You state the city that you're in, and then you hit search. And it's real simple to find these different organizations. But for some people, if you've been down for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you may never have touched a smartphone. You may never have touched a computer, right? And so we found that a lot of individuals, there was a digital divide. They were having difficulties being able to navigate not only the system itself, but also technology, right? And so we were like, what do we have to do to address this? What can we do to help people so that they can get connected to those service providers? And that's why we actually are in the process. We just launched, we only launched about 7 months ago, our platform. And since then, with our beta, we realized, you know what, we need to add a reentry referral helpline. And that's why I added that number, that phone number of that 1-833 for Game Changers. That way, even if you don't understand how to use technology that well, but you know how to use that phone, right? Go ahead and give us a call and we'll get you connected. So, what is it, right? What are we doing? How are we here? What is this community about, right? And who do you trust when you're supposed to get started on your feet? Do you want to, do you trust somebody or know somebody who's never been through, never experienced the things that you're going through? Or do you have able to build a better rapport with somebody who's actually been through those things, who has that actual lived experience? And so what we wanted to do is we want to connect people, and not only connect people with people what we call peer navigators or peer support specialists, right? But while we're doing that, we're killing two birds with one stone, right? Not only are our peer navigators able to help people that are coming out of custody, they themselves now, through a lot of the advocacy work that has been done all across the nation, especially by numerous organizations like Time Done, like Ella Baker, right? The Reform Alliance, right? All these different organizations and groups have done a lot of advocacy work to be able to help certify people, right? To get that legislatively, so that people can get like certifications across the nation, which means you get paid more money, right? So people now are able to be peer navigators, get paid more money in these positions to be able to reach back and pay it forward by helping those who are coming out. And so we have those peer navigators, and it's exactly what I was saying is it leads right into what we call game changers. Those people who are formerly incarcerated, done their time, got out, they were able to navigate the system, efficiently, correctly, got off their parole or their probation, and they're actually having a major impact in effectuating change in our community. So what we are and what we ended up becoming then is a solution, right? That's by justice involved people, for justice involved people, right? We all, like I said before, all of my team, we're all here as peer mentors, as navigators. We're here to help, to be able to give you the guidance that you need. And then our support network of game changers are also here to connect you with the services that you need, to give you guidance on what's the best path, right, to get back on your feet. Or if you're looking at like entrepreneurship, or you're looking at getting in the tech industry, right, or you're looking at leveraging education, which I highly recommend, right, to be able to upskill and be able to put yourself in a better economical position, as Brother John mentioned, right, so that you can build generational wealth, not only for yourself, but for your children and for your children's children, right? We'll be able to tie you and connect you with those individuals and those people through our game changers, as well as through our team. So, what is it about, right? It's all about engagement, educating, connecting, right? That's what our platform is designed to do. We're here for you. We want to help you to be able to succeed. And we look forward to hearing from you. If you know somebody who's in custody and is getting ready to get out, or will be out in the next year or two, even if they might have 5 or 10 more years, right? We want them to connect with us, because we have programs and we have things that we can do to help them while they're still in custody, so that they're preparing for their release. And once they get released, we continue to work with them, connect them with the different resources, the different game changers, the different service providers, so that they can succeed in their reentry. So whether it's, like I mentioned, from the pre-release phase while they're still in custody, through that transition phase when they're first coming home, all the way to the post-release, because things come up, life happens, right? Things come up down the road where you didn't anticipate certain things to happen. It's life, right? Family members, may pass away. There's, you go through difficult challenges and relationships. And what we don't want to happen is we don't want people to slip back. And so that's why we wanted to have that game changer support network, right? So you have community. So you have people who you can lean on and who are there for you and to help give guidance. And also so that as you advance in what you're doing, we want to help you along that path so that you can pay it forward as well to become one of our game changers. Because, like this last thing that says, right? Together, all things are possible, right? If we can get out of the mindset of it's me against the world, right? And we can get in the mindset of, through community, we can succeed. That's what I found I was able to do myself. That's what I was able to do with my team. And now as we continue to build, that's what we're here for. With that, John, I'll go ahead and stop the screen share.
All right. Wow. Good information, community. This brother's, I told y'all he's bringing some great information. You got a question already up there. I think you touched on some of it. How would a person get started while in custody? Great question. He touched on it a little bit, but go ahead and tell some of the folks who maybe got grandsons, nephews, nieces in custody right now. Maybe they're getting close to their TX date, maybe getting close to getting released. How do they connect with your organization? How do you get them connected while they're in custody so when they come out, they can be connected? Go ahead and talk to Ms. Mildred Otis.
Absolutely. Great question. And first step I would say is we are, as I mentioned before, we're actually launching our version 2.0 of our website this October in about 2 weeks. So the thing is that you want to do is the easiest way is just go ahead and call that number, that 833-4 Game Changers, connect with me or one of my staff, and we'll be able to give you, like, we have paperwork that they can send, an application that you can send in. It will be on our website on our version 2.0 in October. But until then, I would say just connect with us and we can either send that information into them or we can send it to you and you can go ahead and mail it into them so that they can start getting connected with us.
Man, very powerful stuff. I mean, I got a lot of questions. I told you after we do the presentation, we have a lot to talk about. I ain't gonna keep you all night, brother. I promise you. But I definitely want to get in, a couple conversations about this. I do some of this reentry work too, and we got to be honest about it too. And this is why I like what you're doing. There's a lot of people and the folks in the community that are saying they're doing this work, and they're not doing work, okay? I got people right now that's calling me, looking for support, coming home from prison, can't get housing, can't get a job. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm always going to keep it real. I tell you, I never go sugarcoat nothing here. Both sides of the conversation, we know in this system, in this nonprofit complex, there's a lot of things that need to be changed and worked out. It needs to be a lot of more innovation. But one of the struggles that I'm finding a lot is, these programs go into jail, we work, we build folks up, we get them ready, and then they hit the streets, and then they can't get connected, okay? It's happened to me many times. I'm sending you from working with them, hey, go to this person, go to this organization, call them, they got jobs, they got this, and then the kids get down and they go, John, I went down and they told me I got to come back in 6 weeks or 2 months into the next cohort, or they didn't have this, or they said this, right? And I'm going, wait a second. These folks been coming up to the jail, talking to people. They in all these community meetings. They all in there talking all of this stuff. And this is why I get frustrated. And I yell at people all the time in these meetings. I don't want to hear y'all talking about meeting people where they at. Because a lot of times these folks ain't meeting people where they at, right? They talking about come down to my office, come see me, come here. We need folks that, like you said, these challenges that folks be dealing with, navigating, trying to get back in the community, we got to meet them where they at. Sometimes they come back to areas that's crime infested, gang violence, they can't move, and they also get trapped into it. But how do we fix it in your thought process or what you thinking? I mean, I know you're a sharp brother. Anytime you're dealing with technology, you got to have some kind of futuristic, intentional thought process. I'm an intentional thinker. I think stuff through. But one of the things is, how do we create programming so that when these folks come home in the community, no matter what cohort is going on, how do we create programming that's day-to-day where we keep these folks involved? How do we get the stipends and the money that they need to move around, to get around? How do we create that so that work for our community folks?
You hit a bunch of tremendously valid and real things, right? And so let's see. I mean, where do I even start with that? So I guess the best piece of advice that I can give, and the way that I've seen for myself, as well as for all the people who I've seen who've come out and been able to hit the ground running, is preparation, right? Start while you're still in custody. Too much. We have people who are sitting in custody and you spend a tremendous amount of time working out, playing games, watching TV, right? And on the phone, but you really need to start, or your family, like really get them connected to organizations like what I was mentioning, while they're still in custody, like Mildred had mentioned, right? Get them while they're in custody so that they can be preparing. When I went through a series of profound spiritual events when I first got busted, and it let me know right then I need to change, right? And so while I was in the federal system, that entire 7 years, I was working my butt off so that when I came out, I would be ready to go, right? And it's still extremely hard, right? But if you lag and you wait and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to wait until I get there and find out what's going on, right? You're gonna miss a cohort that starts, right? And you might have to wait for that next cohort. So, but if you start getting connected while you're still know what's going on, you're already getting plugged in. So it's like, okay, I'm getting out on this time. I know when I get out, I'm going to have these things ready. And that's that reentry preparation. Now, that's one way that an individual can do it while they're in custody. But to answer your question, how do people do it when they get out? What can we do to like build things to bridge that gap, right? And I'm going to, let me see if I share my screen again, because I'm going to show you let me see, share screen. So I won't see, let me know when my screen pop back up so people can see how our platform works.
Okay, yeah, it's back up.
All right, cool. So if you look, we started here in San Francisco, and we just now, over the last couple of months, we just started spreading to East Bay. We're partnering with a couple organizations so that we can scale across California and the nation quickly, right? So how does this system work? So say you're looking for employment, right? Employment resources and service providers. You can just say use the current location, or you can say San Francisco. And when you hit search, this service locator is similar to a Yelp. What it does is a couple things. One, it's going to pop up all these organizations that people can find in their area, right, that provide employment services. The other thing you can do is you can like click, you can click in and you can find out more information about that service provider. You can also rate it, right? And this is that accountability aspect, I think, is one of the things that you're kind of alluding to, right? There's these organizations, they're supposed to be there, but is there an accountability of that, that they're taking into consideration the things that these individuals need, that they're being able to communicate effectively, the programs that they have, right? Or are they just like dropping the ball, right? And not being able to be there for people. And so this rating system, right? Being able to give a review, being able to give like, a 5-star, 3-star, or 1-star, that's going to really have an impact on being able to identify, right? Is this the type of service provider that I want to go get connected to? Like right now, if I get out and I go to a halfway house, the people in the halfway house, the way the system is now, I got to ask the people in the halfway house who's been there. So they might only be able to tell me the one service or the two services that they know of. It might be good. It might not be. But if you go to our service locator and people start putting in there and putting in reviews and putting in stars, that will help us to be able to like pay it forward, to let other people know, hey, this is a really good provider. They're serious about what they're doing. When they get you connected, they're going to get you plugged in right away. All right. I'm actually showing you our version 2.0 on the back end. And so this, if you go to our website right now, you'll see the service locator on the front, but then like I said, in the beginning of October, you'll be able to see other parts of our new version 2.0. And this is when this will pop up here in the beginning, the first week of October, right? And so this goes back to I think it was Mildred's question, right? How do we get people connected while they're still in? And this will get into our different programs and services. One of those programs is our Pathway to Success program. That is going to be the program that you will go to in mid-October. If you click on that, you'll be able to download a PDF version of the application that you can send your loved ones. They can go ahead and fill out the work or the paperwork, because we know we're still using snail mail, right, while they're still in custody, until we get these tablets in there and get on a tablet so that we can actually be able to communicate a little bit more effectively and quickly. That's the way that people can get connected, right? But then in just to follow up on what you were saying, how do we get connected, or how do we connect people to programs where they can start getting some money in their pocket like right away? If they need work, right? It doesn't do no good to say, okay, well, you need to come back in 4 weeks, right? Or you need to come back in 6 weeks. So what we're doing to address that gap, right? Is what we're calling our strength in numbers cohorts, right? And so this is back to that community. Let me see if I can shrink this down a little bit. And so basically, for me, I got out, I had $78 to my name, the clothes on my back, right? When I got out, I got to the halfway house. it was a nightmare. When I got there, they had no sheets for the mattress that I was supposed to sleep on. They had no clothes for me. They had no cosmetics. For the first 3 days, I literally wore the same clothes until people in the halfway house were like, man, brother, look, I got some underwear for you, right? I got some socks. I was wearing too tight underwear, too big pants, right? But I at least had some clothes that I could change to. But that was because of community. That was because of love and human compassion between one another. But I still was being threatened that if I didn't get a job within 30 days, that they could send me back to prison, right? And so I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get a job? I had to spend $35 of that $78 on my driver's license, so I would have a license for a job, right? But now I don't have less money and I don't have a phone. So what do I do with no phone? How is an employer supposed to connect with me? And then we had no computers in our halfway house, and they're telling me you need to get a job and you need to have a. I'm like, well, how do I set up an email account, right? If I have no access to a computer, and they said, well, you can go down to this spot, you can spend 1 hour a day there, right? And that gets into okay, now I got to do all of their eligibility requirements just so that I can get on their computer. So that took a couple weeks to get that stuff set up when I only had like an hour to be there each day. It was extremely hard. I didn't have a job for the first month I was out, and I was fearful that I was going back to prison because I didn't get a job right away, right? And I'm telling them, how do you expect me to do this, right? It wasn't until a friend who I met while I was in prison, he had his wife, a woman who didn't know me at all, she sent me $100. With that $100, I was able to go get a phone. A week and a half later, I got my first job at an awesome organization here in San Francisco called Hospitality House, right? They treated me like a human being. They gave me the keys on the first day, and I was just like, whoa, this is crazy, right? But it was that initial little bit of money that allowed me to be able to get a phone, which allowed me to get a job. And so this is one of those things that we want to do. And I was talking about, how do we remove some of these barriers, right? And so with our program, right, if for somebody, if they're just recently released, or if they're even if they're not, if they're just justice involved, or even justice impacted, right? So when I say justice impacted, what I mean is your boyfriend, your baby's dad, your husband, your brother, right? They're in custody, right? And it's having an impact on you, right? Or people who are formerly incarcerated who got out and need assistance to get back on their feet. We can get them in our program. We run this cohort. Our first cohort starts in October, and we're going to do it every other month. And basically what they'll do with this is they'll be able to have the opportunity to learn some skills, to be able to learn skills that they can put on their resume. We'll help them build their resume, right? We also help them with, if you note here on some of these benefits, right? That was one thing I had no money, right? We'll give them a $200 stipend. All they have to do is work with us for 3.5 hours a week for 4 weeks, right? So they can, and that time of working with us is flexible. So they can be working with us on a flexible time. So they're still looking for work. We'll connect them with those employment service providers or those housing providers, right? While they're still working with us. And then here's a key thing, right? If you've been down for 5 or 10 or 15 years, right? I hadn't had a job in 20 years. And they said, when I finally was able to get on a computer and I finally started doing online applications, for jobs, there was some required fields that said you need 3 professional references. Well, I hadn't had a job in 20 years. Where am I supposed to get a professional reference from? We'll help you with that, right? And so those are those things that, those are some of those gaps, some of those barriers that we want to do because we've actually experienced those. And that's a long answer to your question, John, but it's finding those organizations like ours, right? Or we'll connect you with like other organizations that have these opportunities for you that can address those immediate barriers, but also can set you up for that long-term success.
Man, that's great information. See, that helped me out because that's a big problem that we have in our community. And I'm glad you answered that because I'm always looking for it, because that first 60 days could be the most challenging for most folks, and not having money, not being able to maneuver. Sometimes the cost to get on the bus, Uber, whatever it is, the cost is so high, and trying to keep lunch, food, housing, it becomes a challenge. And a lot of times folks reoffend because it's just too much, right? And a lot of times I don't.
Throw up your hands like, man, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to do what I know because I don't have to struggle like this. Right. I know another way. It's not the best way. It may not be the smartest way, but that's what you know, right?
Exactly.
But we want to avoid that, and that's what we're here for.
Man, I thank you for saying that. It's very important. I was going to ask you, your journey. You talked about, reoffending a number of times before you, before, as they say, the light switch hit, right? Now, I always I tell people, I believe in second chances, because in this work, yes, there's folks who reoffend and do things, but I've seen so many success stories. Folks come out, hit their head a couple times, but get it right at some point. That maturity, life, kind of sometimes have to line up at the right time. I have young folks that I work with at juvenile. These kids is kids from the community. People rid them off. Oh, they terrible. Why you waste your time on them? They're not gonna do nothing. And some of these kids get out and do some phenomenal things. And, I believe in second chances. I just believe that people should get an opportunity. They do their time. As community, we should welcome them, embrace them to the community, and not be so frustrated. I talk to a lot of the Squire program folks that come home from prison, and lifers, that a couple organizations I connect with. And it's like, to understand some of the challenges and some of the things that they have to go through to reconnect in the community, just like you said, using a cell phone, how to navigate the bus system, how to use an ATM card, how to, a lot of these things that you just think on the day-to-day that we take for granted. It's a real challenge for folks, and that becomes anxiety, that becomes depression for some folks.
Yep.
And sometimes they want to get up. And like you said, sometimes they come home to these girls who've been waiting for them for 3-4 years, and they acting all crazy on the What you mean you don't know how to text me? I've been texting you all day.
So, don't even bring relationships. If you can avoid a relationship when you first get out, please avoid it. And I tell everybody that, but everybody wants to learn the hard way, because you're like, man, I've been down for 10 years. I've been down for 20. And then you're like, man, Bob, you were right. I should not have gotten in that relationship.
Right. No, it'd be terrible. It'd be terrible.
I mean, the things you said are so real, right? Like the buses. I literally, because I was over in the Oakland halfway house, and I had to go to San Francisco, but I actually live here in San Francisco now, but I had to go over to San Francisco to get some clothes, right? And that's where I met, some people over at Hospitality House, but I also had to go to my doctor's appointment. And so I didn't know there was a K line and this line and this line, and I didn't know some of the things were underground. So I'm like walking around with the printout, like, of the different lines, and I'm looking and I'm asking people, and people are like, I don't know. And I'm stressing, right? Because I'm like, man, I'm going to miss my doctor's appointment. They're going to violate me saying I'm doing this and this. Look, this was an experience that let me know the trajectory of my life was going to be different when I had my first positive experience with law enforcement. It was here in San Francisco, right? I was looking, I was stressed out. This bus driver said, yeah. And then as he's driving, I'm asking him, are you sure you're going the right way? And he goes, oh, that's where you're trying to go? Oh, no, that's way the other way. I'm like, oh, man. So I jump off the bus. I'm just looking around. I have no phone. This is when I still had no phone. I'm stressed out. I'm thinking I'm going back to jail. I'm going to prison, right? I see 2 officers, and I'm like, man, I don't want to tell them that I'm just out of jail, right? Or just out of prison, but I got to talk to somebody. And so I talked to them. These officers here in San Francisco gave me a ride to my doctor's office. And when they dropped me off, people were looking at me weird, like, what you getting out of the back of a cop car for? Right? Because there were some people from my halfway house there. But like, I was mad at the dude who left me, because he was from San Francisco, and he was supposed to like show me the way, and he forgot. But those are those stressors, right? Those are those stressors that people don't realize, they forget about, right? They don't understand. And that's why we do things, the public education campaigns, right? When we did this reentry simulation last week, and people were unable to feel some of those barriers and those challenges that people experience coming out of custody, it helped them to understand exactly the things that you're talking about that we take for granted, that we think you should just know, right? And that, I even had an officer, and this is, I'm long-winded, I apologize, but I had a correctional officer come up to me afterwards, and he's like, he goes, this was a really great simulation. He goes, but somebody, if they're still in there doing their things, they got to make that decision that they want to change first before any of this will be effective. I'm like, you know what? You're right? You 100% right. But the thing is there going to be an opportunity for them when they get out, or when they're ready, right? I'm a late bloomer. I had to go to prison 3 times, right? Until I was like, okay, that light bulb, that aha moment went on, like, hey, I don't want to do this no more. I want to have a family one day. I want to be successful. I want to like have my freedom one day, right? And so for me, we talk about second chances. I needed like 3, 4, 5 chances, right? So, it makes sense. I believe in second chances too, but really I believe in having the opportunity for a person when they're ready to take it. Like that correction officer was saying, yeah, when they do they have that right mindset? Are they ready to go and they're ready to take it? But if we don't have an opportunity for them that they could take advantage of, then we're not setting them up for success. We're setting them up for failure. And that's what a lot of these groups that I was mentioning, there's numerous groups across the country that are advocating, pushing for change, pushing for creating opportunities for people when they're coming out of custody, creating opportunities for transformation while they're still in custody, so that when they come out, they'll be ready to go. And when they make that decision.
Man, definitely phenomenal information. I got to apologize because I was supposed to be there last Friday for the stimulation event. I got a couple people from the community that's mad at me because I told them I was coming and I had a personal emergency that came up and I just couldn't make it.
That's life.
I've been at those a number of those reentry events. Steve Dami has invited me to a lot of them. I've learned a lot because, it has been a long time since I've been in that world and understanding, from the inside, but working with my youth and working with some of the programming that we do, you still got to, like you said, walk in those shoes and understand those struggles that people go through. And that's why it's so important for you to come on tonight and put up the information that you're talking about and just helping our community out, because a lot of times, not only the people that's impacted from incarceration, but the people who, the loved ones, like you said, the baby mamas and all of the people that got to deal with it, sometimes they don't understand what they're going through. And it's just a great, like you said, public outreach messaging, for our community folks that's, watching and can share that information, because sometimes you're right. As human beings living in the city, in this Bay Area, people are so go. You ask them for directions, they go walk past you. You might not know that person might be going through something and they really just need you to help guide them to the right way. I always do my best as I can, no matter where it is. When people are lost, try to get them in the right direction. If it means I got to walk them to the spot or whatever, I try to get them there, because I understand you don't know what people going through. And, I think that was very important that you highlighted that, and just some of the opportunities that these folks, are obstacles that these folks, I wouldn't say opportunity, obstacles for these folks, but this is an opportunity for community to grow. Absolutely. I mean, I've been in places where folks are just coming home, and I know I've been in the grocery store with brothers at the self-checkout. He like, how you do this thing? And I said, bro, you just coming home? He's like, yeah. I'm like, hold on, bro, let me help you out. You know what I'm saying? But
hey, that's the simple acts of compassion and humanity.
Man.
That makes the difference. That makes a world of difference. It gives you hope. Like, you know what? Okay, I can do this. That's, especially when you're having one of those tough days or those challenging days and you stressed out, just kindness.
Man, that's why I always try to lead in love and humility and compassion, because you don't know what people going through. And this brother was struggling. So, like I said, I holler at him. But, it's people behind me in the store. And what's taking you so long? Hurry up. You don't know how to put the ATM card. You know what I mean? I said, people just so bad. But me stepping in, helping about, man, telling people, man, don't worry about it, man. Chill out. Go to the next line. Take my spot. But you walk them through, and that's just like you said, that's an experience, that man, bro was like, thank you, bro. Like, I'm just trying to maneuver. I got to talk to him for a minute, connecting with some other folks. But this is what we have to do in our community. And again, I think sometimes this is why I said we have to step back sometimes and reevaluate. We get so comfortable in our day-to-day lives and the things that we do. We forget about these challenges. So I always take my hats off and commend people like you that's in this work, in this fight, because I think as a community, we could benefit so much from some of these folks who are locked up, going through stuff. I mean, I'm on a lot of those times.
So much in there, and so much knowledge and wisdom inside custody. Like, I mean, that's where I had some of my greatest mentors, right? And they still in custody. Definitely.
No, definitely, and that's why the work that Time Done do, I always appreciate Time Done. Because they always, trying to get legislation. I was going to ask you, are you involved in that part of it too? Because that's what we need. When you was talking about the parole, how if you late, they rearrest you. If you get shot, if something happened to you, you go back to jail. Like, some people don't even understand how that works, right? I had a lady one time.
You didn't even violate a law. They just, but you just technically did something that they didn't like.
Right. I had a lady, she didn't understand that. I said, yeah, she like, man, this fool got stabbed or shot and he didn't go to the hospital. Why he didn't go? I said, he probably on parole.
Scared.
She don't understand. She didn't understand it. What does that mean? Call the cops. I said, nah, something happened to him. But if he go to the hospital, they gonna put him back in jail. Right. Absolutely. So these are the kind of conversations that we have to have on this legislative process. I know there's a lot of people rethinking it, because a lot of these laws that was written in the past are really impacting our community. So that's why I appreciate the work Time Done do. I appreciate these reentry programs, fighting, trying to get the legislative process. But then also it's the education part. How do we continue to educate our community so that they understand some of these challenges? They just like, oh, they on parole, they should be back in jail. And they don't really understand, like, maybe this person was really trying to do the right thing, but the way things are structured, and it gives them no way to grow, right? We got to let folks grow. There is definitely a major fight to readjusting and looking at the way the justice system operates when folks are coming home. A lot of folks are against it, and they just feel like, oh, these folks are the people that's doing this. But again, if we don't set folks up for success, they're going to fail. Right. And this is why I'm saying these opportunities have to be there. And I'm glad your organization is stepping up and doing that. And shout out to Unite Us. I'm a part of them as well. Kathy and them, they doing some amazing stuff, putting all these resources. They're trying to get the mental health stuff in there because we have a big problem in our community getting access to services. We found during the pandemic the disparities that impact our community, right? And there's organizations who get those resources to help out our community, and sometimes they don't do it. Right. And that's what we got to fight. It's always a day-to-day fighting the poverty pimps of our community, trying to pimp our people. We got to fight with them, fight for the people that's, trying to do things for self-gratification. We got to kill that stuff. We just got to do, like you said, lead in love, lead in compassion, humility, and make sure we impact them. Right. And to me, it's about impact. I like the stuff that you said with the 5 stars and all of that. I don't pay attention to that stuff because I know you got haters out there. People might have had a bad experience. I missed out on a good restaurant because somebody put 3 stars on there and said the service was bad. Maybe it was a bad night, right? I missed this restaurant. Then 10 other people went, was like, what are you doing, John? That was the best restaurant ever. I said, well, I was looking at the Yelp thing and everybody said it was bad service and this. I just said I didn't want to go. I missed out on the opportunity. So sometimes, this work we do is very challenging to find out what the results really are. Most of the stuff we do is all data driven. I'm like, data is right. Numbers don't lie. People do, but sometimes they can be manipulated. And sometimes they don't tell the real story, right? I always look at impact, right? By the experience of people. Now, if I could talk to 20 people about your organization and get a great experience from all 20 people, maybe that's higher than the 5-star rated. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what it is. So I always look at when people talk about how they impact the community. I hear the data stuff all day. I'm in meetings, I always fight about the data. I know city and county, nonprofits, they got to do all this data gathering. But I be like, I'm looking at my people, okay? I'm walking out on these community corners. These people getting funding to do X, Y, Z. And I see all these people hanging on the corner, looking for jobs, shooting up drugs, doing this. Y'all ain't impacting. Y'all supposed to be out here helping these people. You got people out here doing violence prevention, people getting shot. They just pulling up to the scene. Like, what are we doing? And I think that's where that self-check, that self-accountability, we have to continue to do. Nobody's perfect. I'm not sitting here putting down no other organization, but this stuff happened. And too many times in our Black and brown community, we become silent. Right? We don't want to talk about it. Don't say nothing about this. You don't know. You understand. Listen, we got to start speaking up. If we really want change, we want equity, we really want to move things forward, we got to call people out, hold them accountable, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do to impact the people, man.
Yeah, and that's you just hit it on the head, right? Is bringing awareness is one aspect, right? And talking about it and having that truthful conversation. And that's one of the things that I love about Steve Adami and the Cask and what they do, right? They're going to call out if they see it, they're going to call it out, right? And they're one of the organizations who, especially like who's actually tried to make a positive change, right? And change the way that they work internally with the probation. Alameda County is another great example, but it's not like that all across the state of California, right? So what do you do? What can you do, right? As individuals to be able to impact and to effectuate that change? First thing, advocate, speak out, call it out, right? Acknowledge it, put it on blast. Second thing, use your power to vote, right? Vote. You have a tremendous amount of power to be able to either change things or allow things to remain the same or to go back to where they were before, which there's always that other side that that wants to bring things back because of whatever reasons, right? So definitely exercise your right to vote, exercise your voice, connect with those organizations that are advocacy, that are calling out, like, calling it out for what it is, right? And saying, this is what we want to do to see that change happen. Because until those things happen, I mean, it's easy to get discouraged, but if you don't vote, if you don't exercise the right that you have, then you can best be sure things are going to switch. And we've seen it happen, right? It's I hate seeing that 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or the reverse, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, right? We definitely don't want to do that. So come together. That's why community is so important. That's why I truly appreciate what you're doing, with both sides of the conversation, even at that beginning where not only were you dropping a whole bunch of nuggets and bombs on events, right, but activities about connections, about being able where people can find out what's going on in District 10, right? What is, I wouldn't before I'd be like, what the heck is a District 10, right? I wouldn't even know what these things are or what that meant, right? But when you start understanding what a district is, what a board of supervisors is, getting up in their ear, what do you do to effectuate change, and what can you do from an individual level or an organizational level? That's what's going to make that change happen.
Man, definitely all power to the people. That's what it's all about. The people. We got the power. We got to get involved, and you hit the head on the nail. We do got to get involved civically, but we got to do our job as community leaders, advocates, organizations, elected officials to educate our community about these processes, right? Too many times in the Black and brown community, we get involved with the presidential election and we forget about the most important elections locally that really impacts us every day. You get what I'm saying? But also, we don't want to be voting for the lesser two evils. We also need our elected officials to understand they need to also reach out to the community, bring the community folks to the table to help write these policies, to get the right information in there so that we can get it to Sacramento and get it signed and get it on the governor's desk. And I think that's where we got to start working more, as these folks in suits and these other folks that's driving up in Porsches and all that, they don't know what it's like, okay? I'm just going to be real. Our elected officials, some of them have lost touch with reality. Okay,
you're about to have me pull off my one hat because I got to pull off the 501c3. I'm about to get on my advocacy hat in the legislature, right? To avoid that conflict. No, that's real.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just being real. It's not to shoot people down, and it's not to get politically charged with this conversation. But we also, when we have these conversations, we got to talk about both sides of it. It's one thing to have bills on there and the community don't know nothing about it, wasn't a part of the process, and it impacts the whole community. Absolutely. We got to get the people that's involved. So I appreciate some of the work that we're going to be doing with some legislative folks on some stuff. Just received another call. We'll be doing some stuff with child support, trying to make an impact, changing up some of this stuff. The ladies ain't going to like me after I get involved. But I'm going to get involved. We got to set our brothers free. Now, we got to make it fair. We got to make it equitable. But again, definitely, we're getting in part of some of this stuff because I understand the importance of making sure that our voices are being heard from the community, folks who have those lived experiences, folks that goes through it. We got to make this change. It takes all of us. So I'm trying to do my part, not only in the community, not just sitting here on this platform, not just running around at community events, but also dealing with these folks that some folks don't want to deal with. It's an ugly game. But again, sometimes you have to give up something to help the greater good and make a better experience for everybody that's in our community. So that's what we're going to do, continue to uplift and do that work. But again, love to work with you. Anything you need us to do or support, please, let us know, because we all about helping our people, uplifting our people. That's our mission. When we talk about changing the narrative here from our voices, this is how we do it. Having these conversations, having dialogue, getting education, letting the people talk, letting the people say what they got to say, how things should be. All right. And for the folks out there who has the pens and pencils that can make those things happen, we just need you to listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen twice more than you speak. Listen to the people in the community that's being impacted every day. Listen to the folks that's coming home from the prisons and let them tell their story, their journey of the struggles, the obstacles, and the things that they had to go through to get to where they at, so that you could do the things that you need to do to put the processes in place to make that smooth, equitable, so the folks that come home, we really have change in our community. And that's what changing the narrative is all about.
That's what public safety is about, right? When you talk about public safety, if we give opportunities for people to get their life right, to get economically sound, not only does that help them, that helps their children, that helps their wives, their girlfriend. It helps everybody who's around them, and now they're not recidivating, right? Now they're not going back, because of stressors and all these types of things, because now they actually have the economical sustainability and self-sufficiency to not take unnecessary chances. That's public safety, right? But that comes out of that narrative change that you just mentioned, right? And so, that's why I say I appreciate platforms like this where we can come together, where we can talk about it, where you can get both sides of the conversation, get all voices involved. That's what we're all about, right? If you look at it's collaboratively creating change, right? If you look on our website, right? And that means all stakeholders, from crime survivors and crime victims to, because they have a voice that needs to be heard, to the people who are coming out of custody, everybody and all the people who are working with them and everybody in between. We've got to come together and stop fighting over the small stuff or the things that aren't going to help create true public safety and create safer and healthier communities for everybody. And I just wanted to note, one thing, I truly appreciate this. If you didn't notice, John had dropped in the chat. He dropped in a link. That is a link for anybody who wants to like register for our upcoming our community ambassador program, which is that Strength in Numbers cohort, which is starting in October. Go ahead and click on that link. That will go ahead and that will pull up a Google form where you can put in your information. That's that $200 stipend. It's only 3.5-hour commit each week for 4 weeks. You'll learn some skills. You'll build your support network. We'll help you to build your resume and to get connected with the services that you need as an individual while you're working with us, so that you can be in a better position for that next job and for what you're trying to do in your life. So I truly appreciate dropping that. If you're not able to get into the chat and you're not able to click that link, just go ahead and reach out. Call that 833-4 Game Changers number. Super easy to remember. Say, hey, I want to try to get in. I want to get enrolled, or I want to, I want to know how I can get my brother or my sister enrolled in this program that's starting in October, right? Because I know that'll help them out to start to get back on their feet. So whoever answers the phone is going to know, whether it's me or one of my colleagues. We're going to know what you're talking about, and we'll get you that link so that they can put in that application online. It's super simple. It's a 3-minute application, not even 3 minutes, 2-minute application.
Bobby, I got to ask you this question. I know you're going to laugh at me, okay? But I got to ask it. Now, is this 1-833-4 Game Changers? This 24 hours. If I call 2 o'clock in the morning because the sheriff department let me out at midnight, okay? If I'm in Santa Rita and they let me out at 12 o'clock, Bobby, are y'all picking up the phone?
Look at you 100% right. Now here's where we get in. You're gonna start getting into the funding, right? Right. We doing this, myself and all my team. We all have multiple jobs. We doing this like this is on our own, right? We doing this. This isn't funding yet. We looking for funding. So if you on this call right now and you like, hey, we can fund something like this, or I know somebody who can help fund something like this, we want it to be 24/7 because that's a need. That's a barrier. Exactly what you're saying. Like, don't let somebody out of prison or out of jail at midnight, right? And then expect them to know where they're supposed to do or who they're supposed to connect. So no, the short answer is at this moment in time, it is not quite there yet. We're only from 9 to 6 here on the Pacific Coast. But our goal and intent is if we can get the funding to expand this, we do want it to be 24/7.
Now, Bobby, I was not going to let you get off my show without smiling tonight. I had to make you smile, okay? You came on all serious and all serious, ready to go. I got to make you laugh.
That's how I get down.
I wanted to get you to laugh because a lot of times some community folks don't understand that. A lot of times our county jails are letting folks out at 11, 12 o'clock at night. The buses are not running. They don't have a cell phone. And sometimes some of these folks, believe it or not, they break in the car.
But the liquor store is open right across the street.
Right. Or they try to go break in the car, do something stupid because they can't get home. So again, This is the type of intentionality that I talk about when we talk about working with our sheriff's departments. And this is why I'm on these meetings. People are always like, John, why are you on all these meetings? Because these little voices, the little things, sometimes people in these meetings, they got all these big things on their mind. They forget about the little things that impact folks when they come home from jail. And then they all sit there, they talking all this big elaborate talk. And then I just ask them the little $2 question. Where do they go? How do they get a ride? Oh, we didn't think about that. Oh yeah, well go redrop your plan. It ain't working.
And you talking to an organization that has big bucks. Right. And they're like, I don't know. And then that's why I say when you find those organizations, and that's the other reason why we want to do that star rating and where people can put in like reviews and actually write comments and stuff, is because I've always, like, I can't say always, but a lot of the time you'll find like when you walk into a smaller organization that's not quite well funded, but the compassion, the heart that they have, the way that they treat you with humanity and compassion, you like, this is who I want to work with. That's what got me into that first job, right? Which set me, for the trajectory for the next 3 years, that, up until this point that I'm at now.
Man, that's real. All right, y'all heard it, okay? Fellas, all the family members, don't be calling at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to get the game changers, okay?
Oh, you can call.
Don't be putting
You
the
can call,
one
just
star.
leave a message and we'll call you back in the morning at 9.
Don't be putting the one star because you called.
But please don't get mad at us for not answering because it's only 9 to 6 right now. But leave a message and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Welcome to my world, okay? These folks, I do this platform, I do so much in the community. These folks calling me all night like I'm sitting in a job. I be like, what you want me to do? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't job. He's like, oh man, I love my people though. They don't care about nobody sleeping. Nothing. I get people calling me all in the middle of the night. John Henry, I gotta talk to you. I be like, what's up, man?
That's what I'm saying. They know you care, right? And that's the stuff you'll see in a lot of those small organizations. It's not like a lot of like workforce development or housing or whatever. A lot of those organizations do the same thing, but what makes the difference is the people that work in them, right? And when those people when they're calling you, or when I just ran into a participant that I hadn't seen in like 2 years, and I couldn't even remember his name, but he's like, Bobby, hey, you know what? I just want to thank you so much. And you're like, you know what? That makes me feel good. That's what fills my tank, right? That's what keeps me going during those difficult times where I'm like, man, this nonprofit world is not easy, right? And I'm struggling.
Bobby, tell them it's not easy.
It's not easy. Right?
I keep telling people, you lose your family, you lose your ladies, you gonna be bald head like me. Everybody think they want to do this work. Hey, Bob, they think they want to do this work. I tell them, you ain't got no girl, you ain't got no wife, you ain't got no kids.
24/7.
Everybody gonna be mad because you working. Everybody pulling you left and right. But when you're loving,
but you do it because you love it.
It's about the people, man. Our ancestors. I always say when I get mad, I get frustrated. I just say, hey, what did my ancestors have to go through and what they went through? They didn't cry, complain. Sometimes they lost their husbands, wives, and families to push us forward. So again, I try not to never complain and just try to keep moving forward. Sometimes I'm walking with a limp. My body's in pain. I'm getting old. I'm falling apart. I can barely get out the bed some morning. See, they don't see that stuff. They just see me on the screen smile. They be like, look at y'all here. Y'all don't know what I be going through. But, thank you to the community because they always keep it real. That's keeping it real. You know what I'm saying?
That's setting realistic expectations, right? So when people come out, because you always hear, like when you're in, oh, it's super easy. There's all this money out there. And I'm like, nah, there's, then you get out and you're like, oh no, this is rough. Right? Man, but understanding that, but that's where the mentors, that's where people coming in, people like yourself are game changers, where you can connect with somebody who can help give you that guidance, because it's a reality check, but how do you deal with it?
Man, for real. I always tell people both sides of the conversation, we really got our cardboard box up asking for help and support. We be out there asking for donations. They be thinking we got all this money. We just make broke look good, y'all. We ain't got nothing. I got the cardboard box up there. Come on, donate.
I'm gonna have to say that. Make broke look good, because that I already know that, right? It's all coming out of my pocket, but it's because we love the people, right?
No, but that's that heart, Bobby. A lot of people don't know. I tell them, man, a lot of my personal money to make things move and happen. And that's why I always tell people, you think it ain't easy as what it is. You all these people, they say they want to work with you, they want to help you, they turn their back on. It's like, it'd be crazy, right? But it takes brothers like you, brothers like me, small organizations trying to come together, work together to uplift the people. And I always tell people, just do the work. Keep working. What's meant for you is meant for you to come to you. And it's just great to open your mouth and always speak. So community, foundation, philanthropists. I got a lot of people who like to be nosy and watch me. Pier 1. You want to get behind an organization, support them, make a donation, help them grow. They helping our folks come home. They helping these folks that might reoffend and do something. Give them an opportunity so that they could bless a few people in the community and move them forward. We all need support. It's enough money around. We got to get some of these 1%ers to have some real compassion and humility. There's too many people with nothing having the humility and compassion. We need some folks that have that access, that equity. They have that opportunity, that power to sign off. Help some people that's doing the work and make sure our folks in the community are impacted. Bobby, it's been a long session here. Okay. I know it's time to go. I want to give you the final word. Shout out to your team. Whatever you want to acknowledge, your mother, your father, whatever. This is your time. Say what you want to say. Give a little final words to the community before we close out tonight's segment. And to our other hidden gems out there, I'm disappointed y'all didn't get to make nice. Okay. We love y'all. We'll see y'all. We'll get them on the next show. But Bobby, any last words? Any shout outs to any of your team?
Just wanted to first start out by saying, truly appreciate you, John, for having us on the call and being able to share some of the work that we're doing and our vision, right, to be able to help people that are coming out of custody. I thank everybody here who's on this call or watches it later on. know what we're doing, reach out, connect with us. We definitely are here for you and your loved ones. We want to make a difference. We want to make a change, right? And we want to be able to connect you with what you need to, what you want to do, so that, and what you need, so that you can have a better future, right? I thank my team as always. Like I said, we all volunteers. We all do this. We have our normal 9 to 5. Some of us have 2 regular jobs and then come and do this work at Pure One until we can get that funding. So I want to truly send a shout out and appreciation to my team and to my family, to everybody who like I've been able to reestablish connections with, rebuild those family reunifications. You know, even though like I said, I've been on my own since I was 14. It was rough, right? It was always that me against the world. But to actually like get my life, get it straight, change it around, right, and be able to like succeed and to help others, that's invaluable, you know, and that's why we do what we do. So I appreciate everybody here. I appreciate you, John, and your team, and for everybody else, thank you for being here with us, watching us, staying on this extra lengthy conversation. But definitely reach out, and we're here for you.
Man, it was great information. It ain't about the time, it's about the information and the wisdom. Thank you for your team and your family, because I done lost all mine. I got no family. I got no team. I'm so busy. They just like, all you do is both sides of the conversation. We don't want to deal with you. My grandbaby don't even pick up the phone and call me no more. She ain't called me in 2 days. Papa, you always busy. You always on the call. Don't call me.
I hear it. I hear that too.
Okay? My heart is broken. I'm walking around with a broken heart. Everything. I can't. I don't know what to do. But
you got it. That's that commitment, right? Because that's the same thing I be going through. I be telling my team members, man, y'all, when you all are sleeping, I'm up working till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. I gotta get right up at 7 for my regular job, right? Man,
they don't feel it. That 2 hours of sleep is getting me every day. Is 2 hours of sleep for me. I tell people, you want to do this work, you got to first be ready to commit for 2 hours of sleep. That's all I get at night. But on a serious note, thank you again, brother, for the amazing work that you are doing and trying to impact. And, you know, God's going to continue to bless you and make sure that you get the resources, the things you need. Shout out to the volunteers and teams that are working with you, helping uplift what you're doing. Very important stuff, community. As you know, this is what this Hidden Gem segment is all about. Highlighting the amazing folks in our community that are doing things that's impacting our community positively. This brother Bobby, for all the sisters out there talking about, where's the good brothers at? There's no good brothers in the community. Hey, we got a phenomenal brother on here, okay? Doing some amazing things for the community. You got to give them the kudos, man. I'm bringing them here. I'm bringing the brothers here. I'm letting y'all know where we at, what we doing. Connect. Be a good sister. Go volunteer. Go help out. Give back. Everybody want to talk about what they want to do. Go give back. Reach out to the Game Changers. 1-833-4 Game Changers. Be a service to the community. Give back. We got to start teaching our community folks it's okay to volunteer and not get paid, because again, sometimes it's not about what you get monetary then, but that impact you can have on a life could be worth all of it. You could save a life, save somebody from going back, or maybe changing the next phenomenal business owner, philanthropist that really make impact in our communities across this world. So again, thank you, Bobby, for coming on. Pier 1. Okay, check them out. Get on that computer system. All the families watching. Grandma, you tired of that boy that's coming home, been in jail for 5 years. He come back home. You really don't want to deal with him? Send him over there. Let the Game Changers get him back to work. Get him going and making sure that he's doing the right thing. Again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Our next live show is this Thursday at 6 p.m. as we're going to be talking about financial literacy, as we're going to continue to do our part to make sure that our community get the information on how to get financially wealthy, move this financial information through our community so that we can leave generational wealth to our community, to our loved ones, to our family. We want to build equity. It takes ownership. I keep telling my people, we can't do nothing. We can't make change if we don't own anything. So again, this is an opportunity to learn something else about building your finances, cleaning up your credit, get some wisdom, get some information so that you're doing the right thing for yourself financially. And then this Sunday at 4 p.m., we're going to have our youth. Okay, all y'all folks keep talking about, I want to hear what the youth is talking about. I want to hear their perspective. Tune in this Sunday at 4 p.m. All y'all Raider fans and Cowboy fans, you might as well watch because y'all can't win anyway. Check out our youth. Listen to what they're saying, and then you could get some perspective on there. So I'll be with the youth. I'll be checking it out, seeing what they got going on. But again, we love all y'all for watching. Again, continue to pray for me. Pray for my family. Pray for Bobby, because we do this work. It's hard. Okay, pray for our family so they call us again and they come back around. We need that too. Family, reach out to me. Tell me you love me. I know I'm busy, but I love y'all too. But again, we keep working. We keep grinding. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Go out there, be impactful. Go do something to impact somebody in our community. Have heart, have compassion, and show some love, y'all. We need it right now. Our communities are mourning. We're going through stuff. This violence is ripping through our community. If you get an opportunity to talk to a young person, maybe you catching a BART going to work, and you see a young person sitting there, say something to them. Make sure they're doing the right thing. We have to start getting involved to change this narrative in our community. It starts by engagement, not being afraid of our young people, but having a conversation with the young people. But again, thank you all. Have a good evening. Bobby, I'm going to be connecting with you soon, and we're going to get you back, brother. Love y'all. Be safe out there. See you soon.